Good morning. I feel privileged to be here today and to speak to David Danda, the CEO and his leadership team of the largest printing equipment manufacturer in the world today. David and folks, your company is like a ship. So you are in command and you steer your ship with your orders to its destination. The path is full of hazards, lots of rocks. You've got to steer your company in the right direction, stay away from hitting the rocks. We are going through a time of great change, right? With Web 2.0 and social media, there's so much happening so fast that it's very easy for you to become antiquated. It's very easy for you to go down the wrong path. So what drives your, next slide please. So what drives your company? It's sales, right? So all of you. So no nautical pun intended there. What I meant was sales as in sell it. Okay. So what drives sales though? Go to the next slide please. So what drives your sales is marketing. Marketing is what fuels your sales. And what drives marketing? It's the data behind your customer base. It's the data that drives marketing. And what drives data? What drives data is the dialogue that you have with your customers and prospects. So if you are able to better analyze your customers, gather more information about your interactions with your prospects, you have an edge over your competition. You have more understanding of who your customers are and you can react better to their needs. And this is known as information superiority. So what can give you information superiority? Marketing automation. So marketing automation is a way that you can have better information and that results in more revenue, more sales. Right? So what is marketing automation? It's an integrated software program that tries to bring in your sales, your marketing, and your IT together so they're able to analyze data better, gather more information in real time, and be able to react to market needs better. It has various components. You manage your leads well, manage your campaigns better, you better profile your customers and prospects, and it has excellent analytics. So what's driving this need for marketing automation today? So a lot of people feel that different departments don't work together very well. Sales is always complaining that they don't get good qualified leads. Marketing seems to be spending way too much. The management doesn't seem to know what's the ROI behind all the marketing spend. So there's a need for marketing accountability. There's also a need for you to pay less to acquire customers. There's a need for your leads to be more qualified. So this is what marketing automation really helps with. There's so many different components, right, from marketing resource management to campaign management and the analytics behind that marketing automation can support. But I want to focus on one key area. I mean, in terms of efficiencies, I think in lead management, there's a lot that marketing automation provides. So this slide here, though, talks about how marketing efficiencies improve with automation. So typically today, in most companies, including yours from the interaction that I had with your CMO, Eileen, When you have an event today, you invite people, you have a list pulled from your database, you send out an email campaign inviting people to register for an event, you create a message, create a landing page, and drive people to the landing page to register for the event. A few weeks pass, you see that the responses are not enough, and then you go about creating another list poll of prospects or customers from your database, create a new message again, and do a follow-up campaign. And finally, when you have people register for the event and the event is done with, you probably will have to send out another message to thank them for their participation and trying to proceed further on what their interest is with regards to your products. So this is very inefficient. You go through the same process over and over again. It requires a lot of manual effort, a lot of effort from folks in IT, folks in marketing to put together the message, the creative, to put together the list full. Again, you've got to go through these subscription issues that you have with, companies as large as yours probably have very high, very complex privacy rules that you have to go through, and your list may not be the same each time you send out a campaign. So what does marketing automation do? It helps you run the campaign by itself. You plan ahead, put a lot of effort ahead of time, and you have trigger-based marketing. So you plan out a complete flow of what is expected from the whole marketing campaign. So if he goes, downloads a web page, what is the subject of interest there? And you have a personalized message that goes out to him based on his response. So it's no longer doing things based on what you know the customers or prospects are, but based on what their behavioral actions are, what they do rather than what they are. So that's the strength of marketing automation. So you can have automated messages that get triggered off based on where they are in the sales process. If they moved ahead from their interest page towards really analyzing those options, you may have a whole different message to them. If they're close to signing a deal and you just need to give them that little push before they sign the contract, you may have a whole different message there. So that's what marketing automation helps you do. Next slide, please. So I did want to talk about lead management because that's a big area where all of you are interested. Leads means gives your company more revenue, or potential for more revenue, because it helps to build your sales funnel. So in terms of lead management, what marketing automation does is helps you do better lead nurturing. So you hit the person when he's ready to speak. You introduce the lead to your sales person when he's ready. So when you get a response or a lead from a campaign, you nurture the lead, and when it's reached the prime time, then present the lead out to the sales. So sales folks no longer complain that I've got an unqualified stupid lead that I can't do anything about. So you build it to a stage when you think it's a qualified lead that someone can act on. You do better in terms of lead scoring because there has to be some understanding of what's a qualified lead. And you all have to come to a common understanding of sales, marketing, admin together. What you also need is excellent analytics on where, how effective the campaign was. It's not enough if people have just visited your website. It's not enough if you just registered for a trade show. You probably want to go all the way through to see how many of them converted to a sale. You also want to see at each stage, are you moving him forward in the sales process? So if you want that kind of campaign effectiveness in analytics, you need to have it integrated with your customer relationship management system, and you look at every single step of the way where the prospect lead goes towards revenue recognition. So this is what marketing automation can do, and you get excellent understanding of the effectiveness of your campaign. So now the question comes about how much does it cost, right? So it could cost from $100 a month to about tens of thousands of dollars in a year. But I think the more important question to ask is, what does it cost if you don't implement marketing automation? So, next slide, please. So if you implement marketing automation, you'll realize that you were blind up to this state as to what your company's true potential was, what is the true potential of the market, what you were able to actually grow your company. And then you're going to realize that marketing automation was the right way to go. Next slide. So, so would you rather be lumbering along and finally maybe end as a wreck, or would you want to outmaneuver your competition? So I think, David, your answer is probably marketing automation engine should go full steam.
Yes.
Thank you. So if you have any questions, I'm ready to take them now.
Madi, how do you measure the effectiveness of what you're doing with this particular software, these other initiatives that you guys may have, or company may have? How do I know that my investment here is going to be efficient, and how are you tracking it? How can I track that?
You can look at how you are closing your responses, the number of qualified leads that you're getting into the system. And people have seen that using marketing automation increases your, the quality of qualified leads that you get seems to go up almost like 30–40%. It's no longer, data that comes in just based on a response, but it's more, it's a nurtured lead, qualified lead that gets handed over, and there's better closure rates as well. Yes, ma'am.
Madi, do you identify your customers and do you track them after they've bought what you're selling?
Yes, we do believe that a true customer relationship system should be able to give you a 360-degree view of your customer. So it doesn't end with the sale of your product. You got to look at what happens after in terms of service, and you got to grow your customers. So it's a funnel starts off from a lead and narrows down to a sale, but then there's a divergent funnel that opens up at a customer's location, because a person who's bought one of your presses may buy a few more equipment down the road, and if his business grows, you grow with him. So you got to be looking at your customers beyond the sale too.
Madi, I have a very small company with a very limited marketing budget. I put my picture on emailers and drop-off leave behinds, one page instead of a packet on my products, because I want them to remember me visually when I walk in the door again. Is that a good idea?
So you'll need a picture behind.
Picture of me on the stationery with the information on the product. I really don't care whether they recognize the product. I want them to recognize me when I eventually come in. They can say, oh, here comes that guy. Is that a good move? Real estate people do that all the time.
No, I think it's a good move. It's good for them to know who exactly has reached out to them. So one of the things marketing automation does is to personalize your message. It's not a marketing blast that goes out from the marketing department. It goes from Tom Kristen to Rick David or whoever, right? So you personalize a message, you have personalized URLs to track the responses, and you know exactly what Rick did versus what David did. If there are no other questions, I'm done. Thank you.